When we turn the page into a new year, we're pretty fresh into 2024. And when we do that, we are really encouraged to set our new goals for the year. It's a new chapter, a new page, a new book that you're starting in 2024. You've got 365 days, a great story. And I think it's really helpful sometimes. And I also think sometimes it can get us really tripped up. I want us to look at this in a slightly different way. I want to have a look at this from the way that we look at things over at the Moxie Movement, and we use a specific tool throughout the year to keep realigning ourselves with where we're trying to go with our lives and our business and our relationships. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, that even if you're going great guns with your New Year's resolution, or you've totally fallen off the wagon with your New Year's resolution, you can start to make progress towards where you want to be to absolutely become the glorious exception with your business. Hi, I'm Sarah Greener and welcome to the Moxie Movement. I'm so stoked you're here. We are sliding into a beautiful, fresh new year in 2024, and I want to make sure that you make it your best year yet. And it's nice to do a little bit of reflection, right, at the end of a year or end of any kind of chapter, whether it be children going off to school or maybe a significant milestone in your business. It's always nice to do some reflection. And so the end of the year always feels like a good place to do that. And I was looking back through some photos and videos and everything that we've achieved and done this year and experienced over the last year. And I was like, man, that was a pretty epic year. We've done big music gigs, we've been to music festivals, we've traveled to multiple countries, we've had still present moments swimming in the ocean every morning, we've been to the gym consistently, we've built our business, we've launched a new brand, we have completely trained a skipper to now run our tourism business. Like, we have done a lot in 2023, and that's super exciting. Can also be a little bit like, how are we going to top that in 2024? And yet, I have absolute confidence that 2024 will be our best year yet as we build on the progress, the evolution, the growth that we created in 2023. And the reason that I have such confidence, not just for myself and my family, but also for all of my clients, is that we use a really simple process of stacking progress as we go. And so I think what happens often is we set these big, hairy, audacious goals. We come into 2024 and we write a list of all the things we're going to achieve in 2024. And then within a few days or a few weeks, they start to feel unobtainable. And I want to talk today about why that is and what we do differently to make sure that's not what happens to you. Why that is because as human beings and as beautiful overachievers, we are very good at overestimating how much we can get done in the next 365 days. We are very good at going, I'm going to do all of these things in the next year. And we do that from a place of everything will go right. It's just like when you plan in your business or you build rosters in your business and you schedule people to work. You schedule it like everyone's going to show up 100% of the time. Yet we know that pre-COVID, 10% of employees were absent on any given day. And post our COVID experience, it's more like 20% are absent every single day. If that's the case, why do we plan things? Why do we set goals that require our situation, our environment to be perfect, to happen as exactly as we planned it? Because it's just not the reality. And for a long time, that's what I did. I used to set these big, audacious goals about my health, about my relationships, about the travel we would do, about the money we would make in our businesses. And all of them were set with the intention that everything would go smoothly. And things would knock me off my perch for a couple of different reasons. And maybe these resonate with you too. But one of the first things that would happen is that I would change everything all at once. It's a brand new year, it's 2024, I'm super excited, so I'm going to totally do a crash diet in every aspect of my life. What do I mean by that? You know about that. You go on that health kick and you're like, I'm going to exercise every day and I'm going to drink 4 liters of water and I'm only going to eat vegetables and fruit and clean food. You do it and you last for a few days, maybe even last a couple of weeks, but then you fall off the wagon and it's really hard to get back on. And we do this in our business too. It's, I'm going to start, it's 2024, I'm going to be amazing, I'm going to post every day, I'm going to send emails every day, I'm going to follow up every lead that comes in, I'm going to deliver the most perfect experience to every person that comes in. And you do that for a little while, but then you get burnt out because it's too much, because you're constantly having to think about all these changes that you've made and constantly remembering to do them all. And I have kind of 3 steps that I've changed in order to make this better for me. The first one is I don't set my goals, I don't set my visions for my life in 1 year periods, because I was always overly optimistic. I was always thought that the situation was going to be more perfect than it was. And I was always let down by myself because I didn't meet them. I think bigger. Now I look at my life in 10-year chapters. And I think about, what do I want my life to look like 10 years from now? When 52-year-old Sarah wakes up in January of 2034, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to feel like? What I want to be able to do in terms of my health? What I want my relationship to look like with my husband, with my daughter, with the other people that I love? What do I want my business to look like 10 years from now? Where do I want to be living? What do I want my environment to be like? I think about it in a much bigger time frame. So that's the first thing. I don't set 1 year goals. I set 10-year visions, and then I look at what is it that I have to do in the next 12 months to keep me on track towards those 10-year visions for each of the areas of my life that matter to me the most. And I limit that, because we could write, like you and I, we wear lots and lots of different hats in our lives. And so we could write a big long list. So I limit that to 3 to 5 things. The second thing I do is that for the next 12 months, I look at each one of those areas of my life and I go, what is the one daily ritual that I could do that would make me get closer to that vision if I was doing it every day, that would get me closer to that thing? And then I just do that one thing. And when I have that daily ritual down pat, then I add something new to it. And what I mean by that daily ritual, I get to the point where I've done that activity, that task, that thing that I have complete control over. I've done it so many times that it's become unconscious. I don't even think about it. It's the very first thing that I do every day when I open up my computer. It's the very first thing I do every morning when I open my eyes. It's the very last thing I do before I go to bed. I create these rituals to make sure that they happen on a daily basis, and I get them to a point where they become unconscious for me. They happen without me thinking about it. Now, at the moment, I'm in the UK with my husband and his family. We are visiting for the festive season before we head back to New Zealand and off on some more travels. And 2 years ago, I think, maybe it was even 3 years ago now, can't remember, I read about cold showers and the benefits of them, the dopamine benefits, the toning of the vagus nerve for your nervous system. There's a whole lot of benefits. I'm not an expert in it. Go and read up on it. But for me, I decided this was going to be one of the things that I was going to do for my health in that year. And I always say a little bit lazy. It's probably not the right language, but I want to do the things that move the needle the most for me, but I don't want to have them take me a long time or anything like that. So obviously the ideal is to buy yourself an ice bath and fill it up with water and put ice in it and plunge yourself in. That's like the ideal of cold water therapy. That feels like a big task. So for me, I wanted to make it so that I would do it and I could consistently do it. What I consistently set myself up to do was, every morning when I have my shower, I have my normal hot shower, wash my hair, do whatever I need to do. And then I was like, I am going to do a 1 minute cold blast of water on my forehead and my chest area every morning. So I did that. And I did that until it was unconscious. And I recognized it was unconscious when I was traveling, and I was down in Palmerston North. For those of you that don't know New Zealand, it's a lot further south than where I live. It's a lot colder, and therefore the water is a lot colder when you turn it to cold. And I was down there, I was working, and I jumped in my shower after going to the gym in the morning, and I didn't even think about it. I just flicked it to cold, and honestly, my breath left my body. And I was like, whoa, Man, that's a lot colder than I'm used to. But I hadn't even thought about, I didn't have to deliberately go, I need to turn it to cold for 60 seconds now. I just did it without thinking. And I'm here in the UK, it's the middle of winter, and the same thing happens. At the end of my shower, I turn it to cold for 60 seconds. I stand under there for the 60 seconds. I breathe through it and I get it done. I don't even think about it anymore. Once I had that as something that I did without thinking, I could then stack on top of that. What would be the next thing that would help me in my well-being, looking after myself, helping me be my most vibrant version of me? Because if I'm not the most vibrant version of me, I'm a crappy business owner, a crappy mom, I'm a crappy wife. I must fill this cup first. I need to look after my well-being. The next thing I stacked on that was I'm going to drink at least 2 liters of water. And then I grew to that to be 3 liters and then 4 liters. And I'm going to exercise 5 days a week. I stacked on top of that, but I didn't try to do all 5 of those things at once. I just did them one by one. And it's the same in our business. If I said to you, here are the 20 things that would make your business better in 2024, and you went out today and you tried to do all 20 things, you would fall off the wagon in a heartbeat. My challenge to you is figure out where it is you want to be longer term, 10 years from now. Come back to today and go, what's the daily task that if I'm that person in the future, if I'm healthy and if I'm a $1 million business owner, if I'm a loving, playful mother and I'm a sexy, engaged, present wife, if those are my kind of like my 10-year visions, it's the summary version of them. What are the things I need to be doing today on a daily basis that would hold me to the standard of the person I need to be in 10 years from now? Cold showers, lots of water, exercising. I'm getting to an age and stage now where I need to do some more mobility. I was really good at doing my yoga before. I've fallen off the wagon. So maybe for me, 2024, yoga needs to come in. For my business, we've got it to a certain stage. So what are the other things I need to be doing? Do I need to consistently show up and do a live video every day? Do I need to, and even that, as I'm saying, it sounds like a lot. Maybe I need to do 1 a week. Maybe I need to send an email on a daily basis. Maybe I need to follow up 5 sales opportunities every day. Maybe I'm great at the sales and marketing part of my business. Maybe I need to work on systems. So maybe I'm like, my job is to automate 1 part of my business every week for the next 52 weeks. What would change? If you could get your business out of your head and build a system 1 every week for the next 52 weeks, what would change? And so that's the very first thing I set up for 2024. What are going to be my daily rituals for 2024 in each of my highest life priorities? And I've got 5 of them. The last thing I do is I look at where do I want to be 10 years from now? And I go, what is the one domino goal? What is the one thing that would make everything else either easier, faster, or simpler if I just got this done this year? One of our goals has been for quite a few years is to go traveling, is to build my business till its location and free so I can do it from anywhere. Hello, I'm in the UK doing my thing. And also getting the tourism business to a place where the team are running it again. Pre-COVID, we had that experience. We just had to build the team back up, build the systems back up so that we could be doing it again. That has now happened. And the third part of that had to be, we've got this home in New Zealand. Do we sell it? Do we keep it? And so we decided that we want to keep it as an income stream. It needed a renovation in order to be up to standards, in order to rent it out. Those were some of the domino goals we've ticked off over the last 3 years in each of our businesses, in our life, in order for us to move towards the vision of being location free, having freedom from being stuck to one place so that we can start moving around and traveling the world again. And so what is the one thing for you that will make that simpler, faster, easier? For example, end of last year, what would make it easiest for us to travel in 2024? The house needs to be rented out. Okay, one of the domino goals for 2023 was to get a renovation done. It's mostly done. It's not quite finished, but it's pretty close. Coming back to the UK, slowed that down a little bit, but this is about giving ourselves grace. We were 80% of the way there, which is awesome. And we'll get the rest of it done and it will get rented out and away we'll go. What would be the domino goal for you to achieve what you need to achieve this year? Is it that you need to go and find one big customer for your business? Is it that you need to go and find a community of people that are really going to support you on this journey? Do you need a business bestie that's going to help you out? Do you need to go and find a coach or a mentor or someone who you align with from a values point of view that will help you on your journey to where you want to be in your business journey? Is it in your parenting that you haven't had enough time to be a really present mum? So you want to stop and put some time aside to do a weekly or a monthly mum and daughter date or a mum and son date? I don't know what it is, but for me, there are always some key dominoes that if you knock them over in the next 12 months, they would make everything else easier, simpler, faster. And every business is different. Really simply, you haven't lost the game yet. You haven't fallen off the bandwagon. You haven't failed yourself miserably if in this early days of 2024 you're feeling like you haven't done enough yet. Your job is to stack two things together. You want to know where you're going, and then you want to have a daily task and a domino goal, and that's it. That's all we're working on in 2024. And once this daily task, this daily ritual is in place and you do it unconsciously without thinking about it, you can stack another one in. Don't go on a crash diet all at once. One thing at a time, get it done. And you will find when you stop and lift your head up at the end of the year that you would have made huge progress to where you want to be in your life, your business, and your relationships, because New Year's resolutions and goals don't work. Taking action towards them does. It's not enough just to think about what you want to do. You have to write it down. You have to be able to imagine it first. Then you have to write it down so you're clearly designed what you're trying to build. And then you have to take simple, small actions towards it over time. And no, they don't have to be drastic and big. They just have to be small, incremental shifts on a daily basis. And you win by stacking things, not by doing them for a short period of time, but by putting them in place and then stacking the next bit on top of that and the next bit on top of that, because that's where a great business and a great life is going to come from. And over time, and here's the real trick, is that you're going to create it, stack it, and then have someone else do it. Have not Sarah do it for you, and still have it happening inside your business. And that's where all the magic starts to happen. But for now, a daily ritual for you is going to give you way more progress in 2024 than trying to set this big New Year's resolution and then feeling like you failed a couple of weeks in. I'd love to know, what is going to be your daily ritual for your highest life priorities, and what's going to be your domino goal for your highest life priorities in 2024? Because I want to see you shatter the limits that have been set on women in business. I want you to be an exception to the crappy statistics that we see for women in business. I want you to be the glorious exception. Till next time, stay Moxie.